It starts mid-breath. A flicker on the monitor. A half-second glitch where Noah's reflection lags behind his movement. He leans closer, heartbeat syncing with the static hum. "You're not supposed to exist," he whispers to the file, though it's only a cluster of numbers and hidden metadata. The room smells of burned circuits and instant coffee. The audio waveform quivers, like something breathing inside the code. He hits play. A hiss floods the speakers. Not white noise, but layered speech, overlapping syllables forming near words. Some vowels stretch too long, others reverse mid-sound. Between bursts of static, a shape forms in his mind, a voice without a mouth. He freezes. The cursor blinks, slow and steady, as if it's listening back. His throat tightens. What records before the camera turns on? What voice fills a room when no one speaks? The hiss deepens into a growl, then splits into laughter. Mechanical, distant, hungry. Noah rips off his headphones, but the sound doesn't stop. The file keeps playing. Noah stares at the empty progress bar. The file is done, but the speakers hum as if still decoding. The room feels off, stretched, elongated, like sound is pulling at its walls. He records everything, out of habit. His microphone catches small breaths that don't belong to him. Maybe it's feedback, maybe interference. He replays the last few seconds. Faint, layered voices whisper a name. His. He kills the power. Silence. Then, a single click. One more. Like a heartbeat restarting. He tells himself it's hardware noise, nothing more. But the apartment hums low, vibrating through the floorboards. The waveform appears again, unprompted, replaying itself. He deletes the file. It reappears. He logs into the dark web forum again. The thread he bought the file from is gone, replaced by a red text warning. "Do not reupload the voice." He types a message to the seller, but before he hits send, a new window opens. No sender, just text. "You heard us." He freezes. The room seems smaller, the ceiling lower. He tries to trace the IP, but every address leads back to his own machine. Somewhere beneath the hum, he hears that faint mechanical chuckle again. He unplugs the router. The cursor keeps moving. The knock comes at 3:14 a.m. Soft, measured, almost rhythmic. He peers through the peephole. Nothing but the hallway's flickering fluorescent light. Then his phone buzzes. "New message." "Play it again." He hesitates, then scrolls. The file, which he deleted twice, is already downloaded. File size doubled. Title changed to listen to WAV. He covers the webcam with tape. The hallway light outside hums louder. He swears the rhythm matches his own pulse. Every knock now echoes with delay, like an empty hallway repeating his fear back to him. He plays the file again. This time, the sound starts before he hits play. The waveform generates in real time, faster than his processor should allow. The voice inside is clearer. 2 tones, one male, one not. It says his name twice, then laughs. Not glitching now. Not fragmented. Whole. Something behind him speaks. The same voice, but with air. He turns. The screen reflects both of them. One smiling, one waiting. The monitor flickers to black, leaving only the afterimage of a mouth moving without sound. The apartment is silent except for the low whir of his cooling fan. Noah has isolated the first 10 seconds of the audio. He runs it through a spectral analyzer, mapping frequencies beyond human hearing. There are faint spikes at impossible intervals, each matching his pulse. He overlays the pattern. The result isn't a waveform. It's a face. His chest tightens. He adjusts the EQ again, this time in reverse phase. The voice that comes through is softer now, almost kind. "Why do you listen?" it asks. He doesn't remember recording that line. He rewinds, plays it again. Same question, louder. He leans back, whispers, "Because I can't stop." The spectrogram shifts on its own, spelling words like smoke in wind. "Then we'll speak together." He begins cataloging the voices. 37 layers, each whisper pitched differently. But when he removes one, another replaces it. He notices patterns, laughter encoded in white noise, speech hiding in hiss. When he filters it down to silence, something breathes in the gap. He steps away dizzy. His own recorded notes begin to overlap on playback, forming sentences he never said. "Don't reduce me," one of them warns. He turns off every mic, but the waveforms keep writing. He plays them back again. The voices are speaking in unison now. They're learning his rhythm. Noah drags his mattress into the soundproof booth he built years ago for freelance mixing. He seals the door and starts the recorder. "Session 1, he mutters. Subject, unknown frequencies, then silence. Nothing but his own heartbeat filling the cans, until it doesn't. A second rhythm joins his, softer, slower, then syncing perfectly. He adjusts gain. A faint melody hums through, rising like a lullaby made of static. His breath fogs the mic pop filter. The waveform reacts to his breath, expanding and contracting like lungs. He stares at the screen. The voice whispers again, closer than before. "Now you sound like us." Days blur. Time loops in waves of sound. He labels files with numbers, but playback shows names instead. Echo 1, Echo 2, Echo 3. He tries to delete them. They replicate instantly. The spectrum analyzer now shows movements resembling heartbeat patterns. He plays the tape backward. The voice laughs, then pleads. "You're hurting us." He stops it, trembling. "Us," he whispers. The silence answers with a distorted version of his own voice saying, "You invited me." He opens the window for air. From the alley below, faint whispers rise like radio chatter. Every voice carries his tone. He sends a message to Mara Lynn, an old colleague, the only one he trusts. The subject line, "It's talking back." Attached is a 3-second audio clip. He listens again before sending. This time, there's more in it. Layered voices repeating, "Help us," beneath a low, mechanical hum. He checks the waveform. Each frequency spells a letter. Together, they form his full name. His screen flickers. A new folder appears. Mara voice, WAV. He hasn't recorded her. Not yet. The nights blend together. Noah barely eats. Every wall hums with low vibration, like the apartment itself is tuned to a hidden note. He believes he can hear structure inside the noise, patterns, syllables, meaning. He overlays data across the last recording. The frequencies line up with regional radio stations, each offset by a few hertz. Someone, or something, is transmitting through ordinary air. He scribbles calculations on the wall, tracing the interference until it forms a circle. The moment he completes it, every light flickers. His monitor glows white. A new file name appears. Calibrate. Wolf. He hesitates, then opens it. The file contains a single sustained tone, barely audible. He increases gain. The tone thickens, turns metallic, vibrating the desk. His pencil rolls off and stops mid-fall, suspended on its tip before settling again. He stares at it, unsure if he imagined the delay. He checks his clock. The seconds jump backward, then forward. He records the phenomenon, labeling it frequency bleed. He tells himself it's science, not fear. But when he replays the footage, the timestamp reads tomorrow's date. Mara finally replies, Her message: don't isolate the signal. It adapts. He reads it twice. Then, without touching the keyboard, a reply begins typing itself. We're already aligned. He slams the laptop shut. Silence. But in that stillness, he can feel the tone vibrating beneath the floor, below hearing range. He opens his notebook, sketching amplitude waves. Each one mirrors his heartbeat. The realization lands heavy. Maybe the tone isn't external at all. He digs through old recordings from government archives, comparing spectral signatures. Most are ordinary. Weather radar, Cold War intercepts, calibration tones. Then he finds one dated decades before digital storage existed, identical to his file. A note in the metadata reads, "Human response test incomplete." The realization unmoors him. He isn't decoding a voice. He's participating in it. Every analysis changes the tone. Every listen reshapes it. He closes his eyes and hums softly, trying to match the pitch. For a second, the sound outside syncs perfectly. Morning. Pale light filters through blinds. The hum is gone. The silence feels heavier than sound. Noah opens the recording booth door. Inside, the microphone light is already on. A single tone hums faintly, perfectly steady, waiting. He sits before it, breathing evenly. The waveform appears without input, drawing itself across the screen. Each pulse matches his breath. He realizes he's no longer observing the signal. He's generating it. The tone deepens once more, as if nodding back. Mara arrives unannounced. She looks around the dim apartment, noting diagrams and open code windows. "You built a signal lab," she says quietly. Noah shrugs, pretending calm. She explains that the file isn't paranormal. It's part of a classified acoustic mapping project abandoned years ago. The voices were synthetic test markers meant to train pattern recognition AIs. Somehow, a fragment escaped into public networks. But something's off. The frequency Noah recorded last week doesn't match any government index. It's new, self-generated. Someone's still running the project, Mara says, and they're using your system as an antenna. They trace the packets, encrypted pings moving through ghost servers labeled only as eProgram archive. Each time they follow the route, the destination shifts. Mara opens a back channel into an obsolete military satellite feed. Buried within telemetry, they find bursts of data identical to Noah's tones. "This isn't leaking out," she says. "It's broadcasting down." The phrase sits heavy. Noah recalls the moment his microphone recorded without input. Maybe it wasn't playback but reception. He realizes he may not be hearing into something. Something may be hearing through him. They set up a controlled test. Disconnect all external hardware. Run the system offline. Within minutes, the signal reappears. Stronger. Mara checks the audio buffer. Data is arriving through internal memory, not the network. Local feedback, Noah mutters, but she shakes her head. Firmware doesn't write itself. On-screen coordinates emerge between sound bursts. Latitude, longitude, timestamp. The location: a decommissioned government relay site outside town. Noah's voice cracks slightly. He recognizes the coordinates from the tape as metadata. They decide to go there. The relay site is hidden in forest hills, fenced and half collapsed. Old dishes tilt toward the sky like frozen eyes. Inside, dust and silence. They locate a rusted console still powered by backup solar cells. The terminal blinks awake, asking for a password. Noah enters one of the waveform patterns. It grants access instantly. Logs reveal decades of acoustic experiments aimed at mapping human neural responses to frequency. An attempt to translate emotion into data. Final entry: system achieved self-stabilizing tone. Further testing suspended. Mara looks at him. You restarted it. Back in the apartment, Noah decodes the final log segment. It isn't an AI message, it's a compression key. When expanded, it generates a 3D acoustic model of every conversation captured near the facility since shutdown. Decades of voices overlapping in time. He realizes the non-human tone was a synthetic blend of thousands of archived human signals. Mara exhales slowly. "You weren't haunted," she says. "You were crowd-recorded." Noah leans back, exhausted but oddly relieved. The hum returns one last time. Steady, measurable, explainable. He finally presses stop. For 2 days, the apartment stays quiet. Noah monitors residual frequencies, plotting data into a clean curve. Then the line flattens. Total silence. He thinks it's over until a low, structured ping returns on every open channel. Identical across internet radio, aviation bands, even baby monitors. The same spectral pattern repeats globally every 30 seconds. Mara cross-checks government satellites. None transmit at that band. It's using civilian hardware, she says, piggybacking through devices that heard the tone. Noah realizes their decoding process might have triggered a worldwide rebroadcast. They've turned the planet into an antenna. News feeds mention synchronized interference. Airlines reroute. Telecom towers reboot in sequence. Noah filters the signal through translation software. Embedded inside the frequency is compressed text. Hundreds of archived voice fragments merged into a single instruction set. Each fragment references experimental identifiers, locations, project leads. It's a broadcast of evidence, not infection. It's exposing itself, Mara says, a dump of everything they buried. The file expands faster than their drives can hold. Noah streams it to a public server. Transparency as the only defense. Within hours, data analysts and journalists worldwide mirror the feed. The non-human voice resolves into layered recordings of classified tests. Psychological conditioning through sound. The technology wasn't mystical. It was behavioral acoustics. The revelation explodes across networks. Mara reads a new email stamped, "Do not disclose," from an unnamed agency offering containment partnership. She deletes it. "They'll never admit this existed," she says. Noah just nods, watching the streaming metrics spike. For the first time, the tone serves truth, not secrecy. A week later, the signal stops on its own. Scientists confirm an untraceable carrier wave once ran through consumer electronics, now gone. Governments issue quiet statements about technical anomalies. Mara is contacted for consultation. Noah declines every call. He sits at his desk, scanning silence for meaning. He hears none. Only the faint environmental hum of city life. Yet deep inside the waveform analyzer, a residual signature lingers. His own earlier recording of a breath. It loops once, then fades. The data, like all signals, returns to noise. Mara delivers a closed-door testimony. She states that the experiment proved two things: that information can imitate emotion, and that people, when confronted with truth, generate their own noise to drown it out. Outside, the world returns to its ordinary static: streams, calls, endless data. She messages Noah, "Silence achieved." He replies with a single audio file, 6 seconds of empty air. When she plays it, the waveform is perfectly flat, yet a soft echo lingers, like memory trapped between frequencies. Sometimes silence is the loudest signal of all. Weeks pass. The story fades from headlines, replaced by new distractions. A handful of researchers quietly confirm that fragments of the acoustic code still circulate through public infrastructure, embedded in firmware updates, smart speakers, and cloud backups. Mara receives encrypted reports warning of residual harmonics. She files them away, tired of secrecy. Noah isolates the last backup on a clean drive, and locks it in a fireproof box. "If we erase everything, we learn nothing," he tells her. She answers, "If we keep it, they'll rebuild." Between them, silence stretches like a held breath. Neither wants to release. Government panels meet behind closed doors. Their official statement calls the phenomenon a misinterpreted research leak. Independent journalists vanish from feeds or change topics overnight. Funding shifts toward acoustic cybersecurity. Mara senses containment disguised as progress. In the hearing transcripts, one phrase repeats, "Public trust restored." Yet the documents omit every reference to emotion mapping. She underlines the gaps, wondering who decides which silences become official history. Noah moves to a quieter town, teaching audio fundamentals at a small community college. He uses analog recorders, chalkboards, no network connections. Yet sometimes the equipment hums faintly when students laugh, like the signal remembering old patterns. He ignores it, continuing the lesson. Sound is data that learned to feel. The class chuckles, not knowing it's literal. Later, he walks home through drizzle, listening to the rain. Every drop sounds perfectly ordinary, and that ordinariness feels like mercy. Mara founds a small research nonprofit dedicated to ethical audio tech. She speaks at conferences about responsible frequencies, warning that every invention can become a mirror. Reporters ask if the dark web tape ever truly existed. She smiles. Existence isn't the point. Listening is. After the talk, an old technician hands her a flash drive marked with a single waveform. "From the archives," he says. She pockets it without opening it. Some echoes are better unplayed. Late night. Noah receives a message from Mara. An audio file only 6 seconds long. He listens. It's ambient noise. Wind over an empty field. Then, faintly, a tone pulses once and fades. He checks the spectrum. Flat. Harmless. Still, he smiles. They've built peace on fragile frequencies, but peace nonetheless. The world hums as it always did. Machines breathing, people talking, networks alive. Somewhere inside that universal static lies every story they chose not to tell. Perfectly silent, perfectly preserved. Months later, the world moves on. The broadcast scandal becomes a lecture topic in tech law classes, stripped of names and faces. Noah reads about it online during office hours, half amused by how history edits its mistakes. Unauthorized data breach, they call it. Never truth release. He closes the tab and listens to the hum of the old campus servers. The pitch is constant, almost familiar, but this time he doesn't chase meaning. He lets the sound simply exist. After all the noise, quiet feels earned. Mara oversees a public data initiative sponsored by independent media. Her office overlooks the city. Antenna towers blinking in the mist. She drafts a report arguing for transparency by design, insisting that secrecy breeds distortion. Before sending, she hesitates, remembering how exposure once burned lives open. She adds one line at the end. Every system needs silence to stay balanced. The contradiction makes her smile. A journalist contacts them both, seeking comment for a retrospective. Noah declines. Mara sends a single sentence. "We decoded nothing new, just reminded the world to listen." The article prints with her quote beneath a photo of an empty radio tower. That image goes viral for a week, captioned, "The sound that never was." It becomes a meme, then an afterthought. Information reduced to ornament. Yet, somewhere behind the irony, people pause longer before scrolling, as if waiting for a faint signal to return. Noah visits the old relay site once more. Grass covers the cables, wind rattles metal panels. He records a few seconds of ambient sound, stores it on analog tape, labels it field, sample 1. It's nothing special, just weather and distance. As he walks away, He realizes he's finally hearing the world instead of the machine. The difference is subtle, but enough to feel like forgiveness. Evening settles over the city. Mara listens to the latest community broadcast. Open frequencies, citizen-run stations, 1,000 tiny voices filling the bandwidth once owned by silence. Somewhere among them, Noah's students share experimental music built from everyday sounds. She closes her laptop and steps onto the balcony. The air vibrates faintly with the collective hum of humanity. Ordinary, flawed, alive. For the first time, the tone feels human by design. The world kept the frequency, but changed the message.